just want to encourage any daycare providers who are feeling burned out. My name is Christina, and I've been providing care in my home for 30 years, and most of it has been this home. And I just wanted to take some time to share some of the things that I've learned along the way, because there's a lot of things to learn. If you're feeling burned out, I just wanted to let you look at the garden and hear the sounds in the garden, because that's a lot more fun to look at than my face. But, we all get discouraged in this job because it's a really hard job. And it takes a lot of you. When you're a bank teller, you give out money, do your books, and go home. And you don't take that with you for the most part. You may have bad days, but you lay most jobs down at the door when you leave them. My husband is a personal trainer, and he works with his clients and then he comes home. But we all know that in childcare, it's really a 24-hour-a-day job. For one thing, once the kids leave, you got to clean up after them, you got to prepare for the next day, you have paperwork, making repairs for things they may have broken, all the things that cause it to be, a pretty tough gig. And I think that we can all relate to that. But one thing that's really encouraging about doing this job, you do put your whole heart into it, but you get a lot of heart back. One anecdote is, for instance, the other day, one of my kids got married, and he invited me to his wedding. He's a grown man now, but the time that we spent together was so quality for him. He had asked me to, his mother didn't want to do the flowers on the men's suits, and he had asked me to do it. And when I was putting the flowers on his suit, he's just like, "You just made my whole day by coming here." I live in Oklahoma and he lives in Missouri, so it was like 3.5 hours drive, but it was such an honor to be invited. And just knowing that you have such an impact on somebody, that they would even want you at their wedding, is remarkable. Now, his mother is a good friend of mine, and I don't always get to keep a relationship with my kids. It's really up to the parents. When they leave, they're 4 years old, they go to school, so they don't always even remember you if their parents don't keep you in their life. And if they don't value that and they don't want to, then they don't. And a lot of the kids don't. But a lot of the kids do. I have people that just come by and visit. I have several families that get together every couple times a year and do dances in my front yard and disturb all my neighbors and make me laugh. And they really were doing it a lot at a time in my life where I was barely making it because of some personal issues, and I just felt like the love that they gave back to me saved me. And even if you never get any kind of reciprocation like that, the love that you put out is so worth it, because we're turning out the future of this world. And if they don't feel that deep connection with somebody who cares, like in a daycare center, you get more kids per adult ratio, and it's not as personal of an experience, but these kids bond with us even deeper than they do there. They're in our house. It feels homey. It feels like they're a family with you. And I tell my kids that all the time. Everybody loves everybody. We're all a family, because my number one thing that I teach here is kindness. I know that social skills are the number one predictor of school success and also life success. Because if kids don't have good social skills, they will not thrive at school, in relationship with other people. And you know yourself that when you work on the job, you have to have social skills. Because there's always some butthole in every job that makes it difficult. Sometimes it's your boss. Sometimes there's more than one. You have to learn how to navigate people in relationships, and it is not an easy thing. But we can give them, during those birth to 5 years when they're the most impressionable, some really good skills and foundation. What you're doing is worth it. What you're doing is world changing, it's life changing. We're raising the people that are going to work in our nursing homes when we're there. And in 30 years, I've had, I think I'm on 111 students in my small home daycare. And each one has touched me in a way, whether I had them for a few weeks or in some cases 11 years. Each one has touched me in a way. I'll never forget those kids. When I see them having their birthday on Facebook, I always say, I love you always and forever. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If you don't feel like you can love somebody that much, it's probably not the job for you, because they deserve it. And if you give out the love, you get it back. One thing that I would suggest, if you aren't having a good time, maybe your temperament isn't good with kids and you're not able to accept if somebody draws with marker on your couch. In my opinion, if someone draws with marker on your couch, where'd they get the marker? Like, where were you? You know, I haven't had that experience. I have had kids tear up things of mine that were very special, and every single time I felt partially responsible for that. I had some books that were my mother's when she was a child, and I had them on a shelf, and a little baby tore one of the spines off the back of one, and it was devastating to me. That book is irreplaceable, but did I put it down where a little baby toddler could get it? I sure did. Was I in the kitchen making lunch when he did it? I sure was. So if I wanted that book, I should have put it up, and now it's on the highest shelf I have in the house, along with the other ones that didn't get torn up. So you have to keep the perspective of just making sure that you are making it enjoyable. If you don't have a way to enjoy this job, it'd be better for you to work at Taco Bell or somewhere where you're not really impacting the growth and the foundation of a human. You know, there's lots of jobs, banking. You could give out loans. You could, collect trash. There's cook. There's so many jobs that you could do that don't involve someone's absolute development. But some suggestions of ways to make it fun. Here's something that I did. I'm a really creative person. I come from a very artistic family. I'm not good at art at all. I can't draw. I can't paint like grapefruits. And everybody in my family can make these masterpieces. I mean, everybody. My Aunt Shelley can make a wood project that looks like she's entered stuff in the fair and they made fun of her for putting a store-bought item in there. She made that, every scrap, put that wood together. She can just make the most gorgeous artistic things. I can't even nail a board on correctly without whacking up the wood all nasty. Like, I just don't have it. But I'm very creative. I love writing. I love helping people. I love to, create something. When my mom was in art school, she has a degree in fine arts. And a lot of times in the evening, we would get to go to school with her and, paint in the classroom or climb in the trees outside or watch people cut mats or just all these different things. And I always admired art so much and thought that I wasn't a good person because all of them could do that and I couldn't. But I finally realized that I'm able to be creative in different ways. I can write, I can put a business together, I can arrange numbers in a way that's magical. I have all these beautiful skills that they don't have, that they're amazed by. And I've been able to turn that stuff, at a low time in my life when I was barely surviving because of personal issues. I was able to take that creativity and I made a whole series of lesson plans on fine artists. I know a lot about Picasso because I went and sat by my mom because she took us to Chicago to famous art museums, and it, she gave us all this culture. We had art in our home, um, maybe in a more untraditional way than most people. Um, so we didn't have like the cookie cutter art that other people have. We had, a pen and ink drawing of a mountain lion, or um, actual sculptures, or even sculptures that my mother made, or her own lithographs on the wall. And so I had studied a lot of different things about art in a lot of different ways throughout my life. So I made a series, and I did like Frida Kahlo and Picasso and Jackson Pollock, which was so fun because his art looks like a toddler made it, so the kids could make some really amazing Jackson Pollock style art. Um, we've studied Andy Warhol, we've studied Jean-Michel Basquiat. Um, I'm trying to think. There's a sculptor. It's a woman. She made a giant spider. I can't think of her name right now, but this is so fun because she made sculptures out of like the weirdest things. But I did a series of that all summer long, and it was like the most inspiring because I had fun. I bought the kids real oil paints like adults use, and I just told the parents, like, get your kids in their grubby clothes because what I'm doing here is not going to come off. So we're going to have one day of rinned clothes. And I let the kids feel what oil paints feel like, and there's nothing else like it. There's no kid art supply that feels like real adult oil paints. I love having washable paints, and I love the paint markers, but like when my mom was in art school, she had these pastels, which is like it's almost like a crayon. It's a real waxy little square thing that you could create with. She drew and stuff with it, and it was real creamy. And those quick sticks, like those paint sticks, um, those feel almost just like that. So I've just loved having those paint markers. Um, but there's just all different kind of ways that I inspired myself. So try to think of ways that you feel inspired. Do you love cooking? Cook with the kids. Do you love crochet? Crochet the kids some little gifts and show them how to finger crochet. One of the best experiences in my whole life away from my mother was learning how to finger crochet from a lady. We were older, school age, and she watched us in the summers, and she crocheted Barbie clothes. And I mean, they were gorgeous. I was so excited when she would make me a dress or something for my Barbie. And she taught us how to finger crochet, and she taught us how to braid hair. And man, that was like the best childhood experience that I had with another adult that wasn't my family. Her name was Jean, and she had a whole bunch of guinea pigs. I just remember like everything about her. And she wore these long, long earrings, and she had a baby, and one day the baby pulled her earring out of her ear. Um, but she was kind of like hippie style, of course, the crochet and the long earrings and all that. But we went to her house in the mornings, and we walked to school with a group of kids, and we went there after school while my mom worked. And like, she just made an indelible mark on me, where we had another person before her that was my sister can't eat beans. If she eats beans, she throws up. And my mom said she can't eat beans, and so she made a big pot of beans, and she gave my sister a big bowl of beans. And she said, "You're not too good to eat beans. You're not gonna," she was horrible. And she made her eat the beans. My sister's compliant. She ate the beans, and she threw up all over her house. And this woman just like whooped her, and she was so angry, and she yelled at her and called her all kinds of names for throwing up in her house. Any of that stuff my sister's fault? Absolutely not. Can she help it that she can't eat beans? No, she can't. Why was that woman mad about it? I don't know. She shouldn't have had kids. And then we went to another place after that, and the woman made us stay in the basement all the time, and she would never let us come around her own kids. And we walked to school from her house, and I was sick one time, and my mom asked her if she would keep me with the little kids that she kept during the day, and she said yes, but she treated me like such a dog. And so when we went to Jean's, it was just like, oh, this lady delighted in us. And that was not an experience that I had often in my childhood. And she just left the biggest imprint on me, and I've always wanted to be a Jean for people. I want to support parents. I know that being a mother is hard, and this world is tough, and keeping your kids safe is tough. I want to support my families, and I want to be like Jean, where kids never forget me because I found them delightful. And I have that. I've cultivated that over the years. I haven't always been good at it because it's a hard job, and sometimes I get frustrated and I'm selfish. But when you delve into your own joy and you cultivate that for the kids, so think about what inspires you. Like, this garden inspires me, and I built it for the kids, and they plant everything and they harvest as much as they can. Sometimes I harvest on the weekends, of course, when they're gone. They're not very good, consistent weed pickers. My husband and I do most of that. But we have the most fun in this garden. Right now we're watching, they're over by the shed. There's a tall, green, fluffy thing, and it's got yellow things all over the top. That's fennel that we plant because black swallowtail butterflies lay their eggs on it, and it's covered in all stages of little caterpillars right now. And it's just such a joy to watch all of the life cycle. This year we put cosmos and zinnias in that same bed so that the mothers would have nectar right next to the nursery there to lay their eggs. And we thought that would be a fun experiment. Usually it only has fennel in it. And just like that's so inspiring to me. What might be inspiring to you might be something different. You might like making stained glass, so you could show the kids a lot of different stained glass things you've made or pictures of it. Or maybe you like classic literature, so you could plan lesson plans around some classic stories like The Secret Garden, or Huck Finn is even fun because it has camping and friendship and, campfires and all that kind of stuff, and boats. Just find something that means the world to you. And that's how you keep from being burned out, is you constantly inspire yourself. I've always said, this has always been my motto, you got to keep the kids busy or they'll keep you busy, and that isn't always good. You can either inspire them and give them an opportunity to have a lot of fun and be engaged, or you can let them run amok and you're chasing them, putting out fires all day of results of their behavior. So I just want to take some time day by day to sit in this garden and share some things with you that I hope will inspire you. But my first one is, be thinking about what does inspire you and how you can turn that around into inspiration for them. Because kids will like whatever you're excited about. You get excited, they get excited. I had a dad tell me one time, because I was like, I don't know why people get so excited about what I do. And he said, it's because you're excited and it gets us excited. And I thought that was really nice to hear and inspiring, that if I am into it, everybody gets into it because I'm there promoting it and I'm into it. And they see my excitement and it's contagious. So just be good to people and they'll be good to you back. They don't always. People are jerks, people are selfish, people are busy, and I know that, and I've been treated really poorly a lot of times. I've had people that I've had their kids for 9 years and they walk out the door and barely say goodbye. Then I've had other people give me hundreds of dollars worth of gifts. I've had all different ways of being treated. I've been told I'm just a babysitter. I've been told, why would your friend that has a degree even ever be doing this? Why wouldn't she be teaching? I've been insulted. You need days off, like every different way you can think of. But I choose to focus on the appreciation, and when I focus on it, I get more of it. I appreciate the people I work for. I tell them that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be in their kids' lives and to get to know them, and it comes back to me because I focus on the positive. Um, and like I said, not always. So don't give up if people treat you bad, because there's just people aren't perfect. People make mistakes. Some people just are bad. Some people have bad days. Some people miss the point, or like lose the mark a little bit, and that's okay. Um, we do it too. We're not perfect either. There's days when we don't. Like I give my 100% every day, but sometimes that's an absolute disaster, and I totally suck as a provider. And then some days my 100% is like Wonder Woman level. So you just focus on what you're good at, and you keep striving for more of that. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be too hard. It just has to feel good to you. And you have to put your heart into it. And I know that you can. The kids are worth it, and so are you. You're worth having a happy life. So get out there and have a great day.